Hey everybody, it's Jason Will. Just want to take a quick second to remind you that my Impact Agent University conference is happening this April 11th and 12th, 2019 in New Orleans, Louisiana. Get your tickets at impactagentuniversity.com and use promo code JASON10 for a 10% discount off your tickets. Ready? Ready to rock and roll? Is that action? All right. Okay.
That's right.
All right.
Absolutely. Go. Go.
Hello everybody, it's Jason Will with
Go.
This is a real estate podcast, but we talk about leadership, personal growth, and becoming the best version of yourself. Leadership, check 1, 2, check 1, 2. Growth, best version of yourself.
Go.
So this is a real estate podcast. Brandon Maye, welcome to the Impact Agent Podcast. It's a really honor to have you here on the show. Are you excited about it?
Yes, sir. Man, the word impact, dude, that just get me excited as a former linebacker. When I hear impact, and then I hear Jason on the end of it, let's get it.
Tell everybody, just give us a little bit of your background. I mean, who are you?
Oh, man, I'm just a young kid with a dream, man. Started off in Pritchard, Alabama, staying in the 2-bedroom house, 15 people. My mom did an amazing job raising me. My dad was killed when I was younger. My stepdad stepped into my life and our life. Got 2 younger sisters. Taught me the military way. He's a former military guy. Taught me how to be disciplined. Taught me how to chase my dreams. And we decided that we was going to use football and pimp football to get a degree. And coming from where I'm from, where my family is full of more high school dropouts than it is graduates, it was like, all right, let's do it. Let's get this degree. But I couldn't quite grasp what he was saying. Like, how can we take a pigskin and use this to get a degree? And, man, as things started going and progressing, we started working out and training late night hours, putting in those hours. Where kids was going home, my dad was like, nah, man, we about to go out and get some more work. He was like, you want the degree, right? I'm like, man, what do you mean? How did the pigskin get me? How did it get my mom out of the hood? So I decided I was going to take this thing, use it as a vehicle to get a degree and inspire a lot of people in the process. So it all started at Davidson High School. Got there, very, very underrated guy. I didn't start till my senior year of high school, and I would just work countless hours, man. I understand the grind. I understand the hustle. I understand working out with the team and then coming back later on in the evening time and working out again. So it was days, man, I was doing two a days, 3 a days as a junior in high school because I wanted something so bad. Got to Clemson University. Like I said, I didn't sign in my senior year. Well, my senior year, I didn't start until like the end of the season. And then I got there, man, and I put in the work, man. And Clemson Tigers, they was blown away by my performance in my senior year. Had some good grades, and we signed on to Clemson, man, and got there. I was going to start as a true freshman, broke my foot. So I once again was faced with adversity. And then the following year, I started as a redshirted freshman versus University of Alabama, and I had a great night, man, with 18, 17 tackles, something like that.
Wow.
That was the birth of Brandon Maye. I had some great games in college football, and decided my junior year, I had a decision to make, really. Was I going to enter the NFL draft, or was I going to stay for my senior year? I had like a second, third round grade, and I was like, if I stay for my senior year, then I can get the master's degree. It all went back to those days when my dad said, we're going to pimp football, and I decided I was going to get my master's degree for free. And I put in the work, man, and got my master's degree. But I transferred because my grandma had congestive heart failure. So I played in the ACC and the SEC. I went to Mississippi State, and I got there, won a starting position early in camp. I'm like, dude, I'm about to win the Buckers Award. Like, I'm geeked up. I'm the best linebacker in the country. That's what I'm telling myself.
Right.
And make a long story short, man, I got hurt in the second week of practice. And I had once again faced with adversity. My life's been made of adversity, getting punched in the mouth, just like a boxer, man. Just in life, man. Real estate people, man, you're going to get punched in the mouth.
Yes.
And I had to ask myself, man, do you lay on this mat or do you do what you said you was going to do? And I told Coach Mullen, who's now at Florida Gators, the head coach there, I told him, I said, hey, man, look, check this out. I said, I came here to do something, and I haven't done it. I came here to complete the mission. And I made a decision, man, that I was going to play my whole senior year basically on one leg. And got picked up by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers after the season, went undrafted. And we'll hit on that probably a little bit later on in the podcast. But that was a night, really, in my life, really, it changed forever. I had a failed suicidal attempt. And, after finding out, I went down to the facility, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and they told me, hey, dude, your Achilles is messed up. You got to have major surgery. So the way back, man, I had to say, man, what are you gonna do now? And I remember writing my first book and just kind of just saying, hey, look, I'm not gonna go work for anybody. This is the decision I want to make. I want to create my own income, and and I want to just grind my way up out this hole. So after the failed suicidal attempt in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, that's when the real Brandon Maye, stood up.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah.
To digest. I'm, something that you said about not getting to start in high school till your senior year, but you were still just grinding. How did you? I mean, as a young man, how do you not lose hope and just stay focused and stay confident that one day you're going to get your shot?
Man, it's all about attitude. It's about being able to see something and say, that's not what I see. And being able to see that I was a college athlete, that I was going to be an All-American, being able to see that and still, man, come on. I was able to see that I was going to be a college football All-American, and I wasn't even getting snaps on the varsity team. So it was a complete mindset that, dude, if you keep the right attitude and you work hard every single day, that eventually your opportunity gonna come. And that's in anything. That's in real estate. That's in life. That's in anything that you do or you pursuing in life. Is being able to look at this thing and have the right attitude and mindset. Think about the lion. The lion is the king of the jungle, but the lion is not the fastest. It's really not the biggest. It's really not the tallest. But every day, animal pass by and is just fearing for his life because the lion has that attitude, and attitude, it controls everything, man.
It just fascinates me because when I was in high school, I mean, I don't have any athletic ability, but I was just a complete mess. I was more in the crowd of like getting in trouble, drinking and all that stuff. Catching a buzz was like the highest thing on my priority list, and of course, girls. Yeah. But it fascinates me when I hear a story of somebody who, at that same time in their life, that same age, because you're saying you basically, even though you weren't playing, you had the vision. You kept the vision that you were going to be a college athlete. You were visualizing yourself on the college football stage.
Yes, sir.
And that's what pulled you through.
Yeah.
And it's hokey. I think for some people watching and listening, they're like, okay, so affirmations and visualizations, those, solidify your mindset. But you're the living proof that works.
Yes,
it's
sir.
Not just a bunch of mumbo jumbo.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Every day I worked out and I trained, I thought about, being at, I wouldn't say Clemson, because at the time I really didn't know what Clemson was. It was either Alabama or Auburn. So I'm thinking to myself, hey, look, I'm in the SEC. I'm about to get ready to take on this offensive lineman. And I'm thinking this the whole time. I'm not even getting snaps on the varsity team. Like, I'm playing JV when I'm a junior. So I'm saying to myself, like, this too shall pass.
Right.
This too shall pass. My opportunity will come, and I'm going to prepare for the moment. And with this being a real estate show, I would tell a real estate agent, hey, look, this too shall pass. You may didn't get that deal, or that deal may didn't close, or you may be going through some funding problems, but this too shall pass. And that's my mindset. I wake up every day, and that's how I control my days.
Well, even though you did, you were an overcomer early on in your life, and you overcome a lot of adversity, the whole situation in Tampa Bay, you were still susceptible to some dark thoughts that would even lead you to contemplate suicide. So you still, like you said, like the real Brandon Maye wasn't born until after that situation was over.
Right.
Can you dive a little bit into that for us? Like, what was that? I mean, what was that time in your life like? Why did you feel like, because you have somebody who knows the power of mindset, knows the power of visualization, affirmation. At that point in time, you couldn't really talk yourself out of it.
Right. Yeah, I hit rock bottom. Sometimes in life, well, we're human beings. We can study every motivational speaker. We can look at every personal development. We can go to every psychologist. But what happens when you're in a dark spot by yourself? Right. And nobody else around. And you have told yourself, or you have used the thought that this too shall pass all your life. And now you're like, nah, this can't pass, because I told my mom, when I make it to the NFL, she'll never want for nothing. So you hit that rock bottom spot like, dude, I'm about to have a 10-hour surgery, and the chances of me bouncing back from this and playing at the level that I used to play at, first off, if I can't play at my high level, I'm not going to even play. So I already told myself going in on the surgery that, man, this is the end. So what happens when this too shall pass, and you're looking at it and you say, oh, no, there's no chance for it to pass. And so I hit that spot, man. I hit that rock bottom spot where my sister would buy me Roman noodles. You know, it was real bad off. Like I had a master's degree and I'm just like at the bottom, man, with my crutches. And my mom would think that I'm just losing my mind. Every night she went to work, she would see me up and I would just write. And so I took everything that I was going through. Once again, I had to find a way, because in football, I've told myself in football, this too shall pass, and you know this opportunity is going to present itself. But then now I'm looking at it as like no opportunity there. So I had to find a way to create an opportunity. You know, I had to find a way to look at this thing and say, what do I do now? And so I started saying, hey, look, I'm about to serve people. I'm about to take my story, take the things that I've been through, take the grind, the hustle, the grit, the mindset, the attitude. I'm about to take it and use it to help other people. And so I took a piece of paper, man. I started writing, and I hated writing books. I hated writing books, reading books, everything at Clemson. You know, I wasn't big on the education side of it, to be honest with you. And so, man, I took the sheet of paper, dude, and I wrote the first sentence, and I said, this too shall pass once again. And I just started writing, and I kept writing. 2 weeks later, man, I was a published author, dude, and I was getting ready to be on the stage 2 months after that, and getting a chance to speak my first deal, man. And I was excited, man. So my life has been a sum total of those type of events where, you know, you get punched in the mouth, and it's like, dude, what do you do now? So, yeah.
The dialogue that you were having with yourself got you to this pinnacle of success in college, and then after the injury and being, I guess technically you were released before you even really got started with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Right.
And that's what you've been working for your whole life.
Right.
And so you're like, I guess once that's snatched out from under you, you're like, well, where's my identity? That was your identity.
Man, so much was going through my mind. Man, so much, man. I was thinking back. I told my mom I was going to make it to the NFL and she'll never want for nothing. I was thinking back to the dog days when I was training, and it was people that was cutting corners. Like I never cut a corner. You know, like I'm working overtime, and I was looking like, dang, that guy in the league, that guy. So I went through a period of that, man, where it was like, why me? And then I said, why not me? You know, I was born for this. I was built for this. I was raised. I was brought up in the darkness. Why not me? And I just said, man, pick yourself up. And I believe that we have to understand as human beings that we're going to go through things in life, because it is life. I want to see the one creature that comes through this journey of life that goes through nothing. I want to see that person. So then at that point, you have to say, how would I be built as an individual once I go through those things? That's in business. That's in life. That's with your marriage. That's with your relationships. That's with people in general, that you're going to go through things, but you have to make a decision, you know, and that's what I did, man. I had to basically make a decision. You know, you sitting right there and you got your dreams. I'm walking through the facility now. Don't get me wrong. The night of the draft, right? So I went undrafted. The next morning, we had the Philadelphia Eagles and we had the Tampa Bay Buccaneers call me up like, hey, look, we sorry we didn't draft this kid, but we want to bring him in the camp. So I fly in, go into mini camp, and I'm walking through the facility. I'm like, God, I made it. Like, I get a chance to do my thing. And I'm knowing the whole time, man. I'm not going to tell my agent. I'm not going to tell the Bucs. I'm like, dude, I'm not myself. Something is going on with my Achilles. And I didn't know at the moment what was going on, but I was like, something is going on. Something is not right. So I'm walking through the facility, and I'm seeing these Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Derrick Brooks on the wall. I'm seeing this person. I'm like, dang, I finally made it. Like, the kid from the hood finally got an opportunity to make it. And I got in that thing, man. The doctors huddled up. They doing the physical, and it's like, man, we got to let you go. I was like, oh my God,
just
are
that
you serious?
quick?
I'm like, no, you can't let me go. Like, I told my mom I was gonna do this. Like, no, I'm ready to fight the doctors. I'm like, no, you can't let me go. So then when I got on that flight, man, on the way back, my boy Mark Barron, I don't know if you know Mark, Alabama guy. Mark hit me up, and Mark was like, man, you're going to be all right, man, and everything's going to go good. He was drafted by the Buccaneers in the first round, so he was telling me it was going to be all right, but I'm like, dude, you just signed for multi-millions. It's not going to be all right for me. So, man, it was just a process. You know, it was a process of saying, you've been here before, what are you going to do now?
You know, that just triggered a thought in my mind. We were talking before the show about my wife working for Movement Mortgage, and Movement Mortgage is a big faith-based mortgage company. And the CEO was talking to, I guess they have like a Friday morning huddle or something, and somebody was videotaping it. And they had to let a bunch of people go. Wow. Because there's markets that are shifting. You know, they're coast to coast. So some of the markets, on the West Coast and other places, there are pockets where the market's shifting and things aren't selling as much as they were. But he was just basically making the point, like, these people we have to let go. He was asking his employees to reach out to those people and remind them that this is just it's part of the process, but maybe Movement Mortgage wasn't their purpose.
Right.
Like, if you had just snuffed yourself out, I mean, you think about all the lives you're affecting in a positive way through all the stuff you're doing, all your speaking engagements, and all the people that that your words touch and you inspire. I mean, all that would have been gone had you succeeded in that mission.
Yes, sir.
To end your life. But I guess the point we could make to somebody out there who's maybe listening who has had thoughts of killing themselves is it as simple as just changing the narrative that you're saying to yourself, like, I can't, I won't, I'll never, I'm useless, or I'm worthless, to that I'm strong, I'm powerful, these I am statements.
Yes, sir. That's a every morning thing for me. I make it my business to talk and interact with my soon-to-be fiance, and that's what we do every morning. We're telling ourselves that, and it's faith too. It's operating in faith and saying that what I see right now, this is not the end results. And so, daily affirmations, letting yourself know that, like you said, I am this. I am a strong person. I am, I'm this, I'm that. You know what I'm saying? Just giving yourself positive thoughts and feeding yourself. That, I feel like that's a big deal. And environment is key too. I am a sum total of so many great individuals that have poured into me since that time. I would sit back and I would selfishly say Brandon Maye had to make up his mind, or, Brandon Maye did this, Brandon Maye did that. But really, man, I'm a sum total. My relationship with Jesus Christ has been huge. As a matter of fact, what I notice is none of this stuff really matter here on earth. Like, this is just a passing place that I'm in. And then when I noticed that, then I went to the next step, man. I started surrounding myself with the right individuals, people that's successful, people that's telling themselves, I am, you know what I'm saying? And they telling themselves every day. You think about Jeff Packer, my mom. She went to Viger High School, and this guy went to Viger High School with her. And he became a multimillionaire before the age of 22 years old. So,
wow.
Yeah, it was crazy, man. Then Ken McElhaney with State Farm Agency, right here down the road. That's like my second dad. Then you got Lawrence Roberts. He's a big-time investor here in the city. He's helped me out with the real estate, understanding how to do deals and stuff. Man, so I'm just a sum total. If I get into these names, then I'll probably get in some trouble. So I'm going to stay away from the names, because there's so many, man. It's so many people, man, that's been a blessing to me and allowed me to keep going.
Do you have to limit people or exclude people from your life because they're negative? I mean, what if are there people that you've had to cut out of your life just because they're just so negative? They're just talking about how down on their luck they are, how the world is against them, not for them. Have you had to kind of remove some people from your life?
Definitely, man. After the injury, some people removed themselves because they was there for the moment. They was there for the successful moments. They wasn't there for the dark moments. They wasn't there for those moments when you punched in the mouth. They wasn't there when people saying what you can't do and you can't get back up. They wasn't there to uplift you. So a lot of those people, man, kind of like push themselves out. But for us, like negative people, I just don't do negative. And also I don't do fake. So I'm a real guy. So if I see any sniff of fakeness, then I just move over to the next area, because I believe that in order for you to get to the right spot, which is success, and whatever your definition of success is, then you must be surrounded by the right people, because people can tear you up, dude. Like, yes. They can tear you up. Just think about it. You may be throwing a barbecue or something like that. It's so many people that come in and eat, but don't never bring nothing to the party.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like you never brought nothing to the party, but you want to eat. You want to eat knowledge. You want to eat information. Bring something to the party sometime, man. So, I just try to surround myself with real people, man, because I know at the end of the day, real people at the end of the day going to overtake fake, man. We can get somewhere.
Well, I would imagine with your positivity, your personality, like, people know not to bring the negative around you now. They're like, he ain't going to tolerate it. So.
Yeah, I'm a human being, man. I have my moments too, man. I lean a lot on other people too to pick me up and keep me going. So I'm not going to make it seem like, I'm on such a flatline level, like I'm such a high ranked person. But, I would prefer not to do the negative energy.
Well, I think that's a really key point to make with the audience is that success. That there's a famous quote that success is rented and the rent's due daily.
Yes, sir.
But that's the same with your mindset too.
Right.
I mean, so you've got to get up and continue. That's why you're doing this with your girl, by getting up and doing these affirmations every day, because you're a human and we're all broken children of God. So we got to get up and tell ourselves these I am statements to regain that strength and that power.
Yeah, man, staying consistent. Like, even in this moment right now, as you know, I'm doing a little bit of real estate investing and learning and just trying to be a student of the game the same way I was at Clemson. Even in this moment, I got a deal where it was my first deal that I done, and it was a deal that I tried to rent the house out first, and then later on sell it. But then in the first couple months, like, the girl went through like this eviction process, and that was new to me because I'm just getting started. So now we're in the eviction process. Now I got to pay that fee, and then I got to come right back and try to get this person out, and I got to, it was just back and forth, and then money going out, and then all of a sudden you send back. Now you go in and you say, hey, you know what? Let's just do away with the rental right now. Let's just go in and flip it. Then you put another additional, $10,000, $12,000, whatever the money may be, you put it in, and then all of a sudden the house is not selling. So then you have to make a decision. Do I focus in on that, which is negative? Do I feed myself that negative energy? Or do I say I have the best agent around? Or, do I say positive thing like Lindsey Granquist? She's a beast, man. She's gonna help that house get sold. She's gonna put in the blood, the sweat, and tears to get that house sold. Now, for me, I have to mentally say, okay, even though I lost in that deal, I have to find a way to get back up once again and say this too shall pass, and find ways, creative ways to, write it off, whatever it may be. But just staying positive about the situation controls the whole situation. Just positive thinking.
Wow, that's a powerful quote.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, just staying positive about the situation controls the whole situation. So
yes, sir.
If you're negative, then that negativity is going to control the situation.
Yeah, you get what you put out.
So it's really, really simple, but I guess maybe for a lot of us it's not really easy, especially when we don't understand that this dialogue that we're having is controlling our lives, and the way we think controls how we what we believe controls what we think, and how we think controls how we act. So it's just all this cycle. But at the end of the day, we have control of it.
Right.
That's really, really powerful. Right. So let's talk about your speaking. I know that's one thing you're like super passionate about. What year did you start? What year did you get on the stage?
I think the first year, I tried to forget the years. I think the first year with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the injury and all that stuff happened in 2013. That year, later on, I think that was like in January. So around December time, that following year, I was on the stage, man. I had the book written, and I was speaking at Norwood Church. I think that was my first event. They brought me in for their men's conference. And one of the guys told me, he pulled me off to the side. He said, you got the it factor. I'm like, what you talking about? The last time I heard somebody say you got the it factor, it was Tommy Bowden at Clemson. So
wow.
I was like, I got the it factor. I'm like, God, it has something here now, right? So at that time, I didn't know, that you can be paid for your gift, or you can go on the stage and you can, serve people. I wasn't really into it. I was just like, I'm just sharing my story. And then it turned into a passion. I started studying, started watching people. I started watching one of my good friends, Eric Thomas, John Maxwell, John Gardner is a good friend of mine. I started watching these guys and studying these guys. And then I started speaking, man. They started bringing me into the different colleges and sharing my story. So then I had to make another decision whether I keep going as a motivational speaker, which I saw that market was kind of flooded because everybody feel like they're a motivated speaker. You know what I'm saying? Like they feel like they can motivate people. So I had to find out, I had to discover that it was another lane, and that was creating programs and working with people from a training standpoint. With me having my master's degree in human resources, I was like, okay, I just do these 2-3 hour programs and work with people on team building and leadership. So that's what I'm working on now, man. Coming in and working with people, companies that have teams, and helping them get the very best out of their employees.
But you're still, if somebody called you and said, hey, I want you to give a motivational speech, you're there.
Yeah. I'm actually, February the 5th, I'll be in Tampa, Florida. I'll be speaking at a conference conference there.
What kind of conference is that?
It is, I think they would call it an industry conference. It's just like a fleet washing. They wash big trucks and stuff. And they saw something on Facebook, or they saw an old video from YouTube, and the guy called me up, got in touch with my fiance, and we got a deal worked out. And so I'll be flying down there. I do probably an hour session with them. I don't look at the PowerPoint too much. I just kind of bring it from the heart. And I got a good grasp of what I want to accomplish. And I just want to make sure that when I'm there, that a person is not leaving just motivated, because they can be motivated and then they get in the car and their mom, find out she has stage 4 cancer. Then what happens then? I want to make sure that I'm changing your mindset so that when you go into situations or you may encounter situations, you're reacting in the right manner that you're supposed to react in. So I'm a mindset changer. I'm a transformational coach.
Oh, I love that. I mean, mindset is everything. You got to think about, all these, because there's still going to be tragedies in Brandon Maye's life.
Yes, sir.
There's going to be tragedies in my life, and people in the audience are going to go through it too. But you just got to keep reminding yourself that from these tragedies come transformations. Mm-hmm. I mean, this tragedy that happened to you, it was like a gift.
Yeah.
But it's so hard to look at it that way in the moment, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. And then there's another thing, too. It's a flip side to it. I don't want this show to be one of those things where they feel like they're going to a burial, like somebody's about to die, like I'm looking for the tragic. It also times when you have to handle success, because it's a flip side to it. You may have your tragedies, but then you may have your success that may turn into tragedies, where you may take, say you close a deal, you may harp on that deal in 2015 too long, and then it hurt you in 2018. So it's two sides to it. It's a fine line with that. Learning how to handle success and learning how to fight through tragedies. It's two sides.
Yeah, because you got to stay grounded through all of it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, because success can go to your head, and it can change your heart, because right now you've got a heart to serve.
Yes, sir.
And change lives. And so, you guess people start telling you how great you are, and that can all get up there. You got to stay grounded. So I use it a lot of times with my brokerage, my agents, my team members, just make the comparison from the sales industry to the athletic world and how those two collide. Because, without a coach, without all these mentors, without accountability, really, you would not have continued to rise to these different levels. So I wanted just to touch on just briefly, like what coaching, has meant to you. Could you have risen to this NFL caliber without all these people pouring into you and holding you accountable to what they saw in you, that it factor?
Yes, sir. I tell it every time when I get on the stage. I tell people that I would like to express my gratitude. And when I say I would like to express my gratitude, I'm speaking of those who have poured into me. It wasn't like they had to. It's not that Coach Sweeney has to pull me off to the side and give me a little bit extra. It's not that Tommy Baldwin has to say, "Hey, look, that kid in Mobile who everybody's sleeping on, that diamond in the rough, we're gonna take him and we're gonna give him an opportunity." It's not that they have to be in that position. And I've been blessed and fortunate enough to have so many great coaches. And you got to understand, when you're at a position of trying to accomplish something, you must have some form of coaching, because coaching keep you accountable, coaching keep you grounded. Coaching will correct you. Coaching will build you up. Coaching will tell you, hey, look, you have an opportunity to get there. You have the it factor, but if you don't put the grind, if you don't put the hustle, if you don't put the hours in, so coaching has been huge for me, man. And it's allowed me to be able to stay grounded as an individual, being able to pick up the phone and be around people and talk to the right people has been a game changer for me, man. So I would tell anybody, if you're in the industry and you don't have a coach, you probably soon gonna get punched in the mouth and you ain't gonna know how to react. So
well, and then you didn't just show up game day ready to play. I mean, you got to prepare all week.
Yes, sir.
So yeah. I think one of the things that I see, not only, I mean, it's rampant in the real estate industry, but salespeople in general, they don't prepare. They're so focused on the opportunity.
Right.
So if you were so focused on game day to the extent that really nothing else mattered the entire week, you were just like, I'm ready to play, but you didn't prepare, you'd fall flat on your face.
One of the biggest things, man, is respecting coaching and being humble enough to take coaching. How do I do that in college football? Just using as an analogy, that's something that I can relate to. I'm thinking to myself, okay, so we play on Saturday night. Say we just finished playing University of Alabama, and we got a game the next week. I'm thinking to myself, all right, when I get off this bus, I get to go to my dorm room. These coaches, they kiss their wife, they kiss their kids, and they go into the film room because they got a short window of about 24 hours before they have a game plan for us on Monday. So it's a respect thing. I respect my coaches because when I was at home after the game getting sleep, they was away from their kids. They was away from their wife coming up with a plan for me to be successful. So you have to respect your coaches and say, okay, my coaches have my best interests at heart. And a lot of people that mess up in the industry, just say in the real estate industry, they don't respect the coaching and they don't look at the coaching as this coach is trying to push me forward. And so that was the game changer for me. That's why I was such a coachable player. And that's why a lot of the coaches now call me back in to speak to their players because I understand and I respect that the coaches are grinding. The coaches putting in the hustle. They doing it. And I'm at home. I'm just like, all right, when I get there on Monday, like this game plan I have that's about 20 page thick, this don't just happen overnight.
Right.
They got 24 hours to turn the page from Alabama to get to LSU. You know, we going home. So just respecting the coaching, man. Respect the coach.
That's such an awesome point just about that respect factor. And then being coachable. Did you ever encounter players who – was there a difference between the success players were having on the field that were coachable versus the ones that thought they knew everything?
Yeah, definitely a major difference. And this politic type of deal too. So you may have a player that's not coachable in college football. He may not be successful in the NFL. He may be gone in the first year. So I may beat the NFL, but then when I may beat college football as an uncoachable player. But when I get there, if I can't bow down to authority, then it's probably going to be a bad deal for you. So, you know, being coachable, man, is huge, man, and being able to come in. So if I'm a real estate agent for your company, when I come in, I'm like, ooh, coach got something for me. I'm not even seeing you as Jason. I'm like, coach got something for me.
Right.
If I want to get to the spot that I need to get to and that's success, then this guy who I'm calling the head of my company, I need to bow down and hear what he got to say. Now, of course, I don't want to be in the coat. Like, I don't want to be one of those persons I hear everything he's saying and do it. I don't want to be a robot.
Right.
My coaches always used to say that too. I'm not going to tell you too much because I don't want to make you a robot. I want you to flow freely, but I'm going to tell you where you're supposed to be. I'm going to tell you you're supposed to be in the A gap because they're running an offset formation. And out of this play, it's 50% chance. Like, my coaches were so good, dude. Dabo, he'll come in. We'll be in the shotgun, right? Say, who was it? Kevin Steele at the time. He's at Auburn now. He's a defensive coordinator there. So say we're in the shotgun. These guys were so good, dude, that they'll come in and say, out of this formation, it's a 45% chance. And they was like, it's a 45% chance that they're going to run a slant route. And I go in the game, I'm like, man, I see the formation. Okay, all right, coach said 45% chance, so it's a high percentage. That's real high in college football. That is, they going to run this slant. And I trust my coaching, and boom, interception. That was my first interception, dude. I just looked at it. I said, all right, this is the formation. Coach told me about this on Sunday. And they kept saying it over and over and over, just affirmation like, hey, dude, when you see this set, it's going to be this. And that's the same way in any other business. Coach is saying, all right, man, look, when you go out and look at that house, it's going to be around this price. This is the ARV. This is the comps. Hey, look, this is how you market. Man, they're giving you the keys to success. So take the keys, use the keys, and try it out. And I promise you're going to get a touchdown.
You know, and I just keep grinding back in my mind to that word respect. You know, whether you're a motivational speaker to an audience, if you have respect, like, hey, these people bought a ticket, hey, they drove, some flew, you know, just even having respect for like the people that made the effort, that took time out of their day, took time away from their families to come hear you speak.
Yeah.
It's just to people in the stands of a football stadium, like all these people came here. And all the sacrifices.
For little old me.
Yeah.
For little old me.
And that would keep you grounded and focused and just you'd have this incredible attitude, just like, wow, just knowing the impact of all the moving parts, you know, coming together. That's an amazing point.
One of my things, Jason, is big team, little me. And I tell myself that every day. And that's what I'm working on now, is trying to get my companies as a whole to the point where it's running from a team base, and I'm not having to be so hands-on, so involved. And I think the biggest thing is going to be finding that one or two people to teach them how to be coachable, because you can also be taught how to be coachable, and just letting them know that, hey, look, you have your opportunity to build this thing. You have your opportunity to raise us up. You have your opportunity, and you want to do that over and over and over, because people don't want to feel like you always preaching to them. Now, that's a flip side to it. They don't want to feel like they're always being coached and coached up. So you pull the rings off sometime and just develop that person. And so that's what I'm working on, man, just saying big team, little me, big team, little me. And that's what I try to make all my moves based off of.
I love it. And we were joking a little bit before the show about Alabama's beatdown at the hands of the Clemson Tigers. And you were talking about, you said the reason you believe that happened is because it's a team of leaders.
Right.
And that would translate, and that's what you're trying to build in your business world.
Right.
A business full of leaders so that you're not having to be there to micromanage everybody. So that's a really, really powerful message. It reminds me of a book I just read or listened to it on Audible, Extreme Ownership by Jocko Willink. Have you ever read that book?
No, I haven't.
It's really, really good.
Really?
And it's it's about, these are Navy SEALs, and it talks about their.
Oh, that's my favorite people in the whole world.
Man, it is badass. You've got to read this thing. But just if you have extreme ownership and you instill this in extreme, they left the military world and they went into the business world and started doing, what you're doing on this corporate level. And these massive companies that, have a huge amount of employees, but that was what they were teaching as extreme ownership.
Wow.
Like if you stop passing the blame or the buck or the excuse and just take ownership of everything, then these companies just would skyrocket.
Yeah, I believe that.
Yeah. So check that book out. It's really, really good. All right. So let's talk about, I could just sit here and talk to you forever, but we only have a little bit. Let's talk about your businesses and because you have a pressure washing business.
Yeah.
You may have some properties that you want people to find out about. You can be booked for speaking. So let's plug everything you got to plug.
My deal is this: never stretch yourself too thin. And I know a lot of people are looking like, dude, he's the king of stretch too thin. But really, everything that I do is in the same avenue. So I'm not having to step outside. I don't own Arby's and trying to push burgers at McDonald's,
Right.
So everything is in the same streamline. So what I did is, after the injury and stuff, and I started speaking, what I did is I started detailing cars. And it was like, dude, this dude got a master's degree. He's not detailing cars for $500 a week. But I had a vision, right?
Yeah.
Once again, I had a vision that I can get myself in a position. So I went from detailing cars to doing fleet washing. I bought a machine, something I learned on YouTube. Like, YouTube is amazing, man. Have you ever just went on YouTube and just watched videos?
Well, I tell you what, that's a good point to hit the pause button, because it's something I'm telling my agents all the time.
Yeah.
No matter what industry, because you were talking about, I'm sure that's where you studied a lot of speakers. Mm-hmm. Tony Robbins calls it YouTube University.
Yeah. It's huge.
I mean, anything you want to learn, you can teach yourself how to make any money you want to make using YouTube.
Yeah, it's huge.
But sorry to interrupt. I wanted to make that point, because if you're a real estate agent, everything you want to know about being successful is on YouTube.
It's on there, man. Like, somebody put the video on there. You could just type in the word and it's on there. Like, that's crazy. So I went from fleet washing. From fleet washing, I learned how to do pressure washing, man. So it was all in the same industry, right? And I said to myself, all right, if I can get this thing going. So I started doing all the commercial accounts. I started doing Providence Hospital type of deals. I started doing Mobile Aerospace. I started doing this company, that company. I started building myself up, started doing people homes. So that's huge for me now, man. I'm probably blessed and fortunate enough to be one of the highest demand pressure washing companies here in Mobile. So I started building that up, and I said, okay, now I have my base in place, and I got to build my base to get me away from it so that I can become just a manager and facilitator of it. So that's where I'm at now, and I'm able to take what I'm making in pressure washing and now reinvest into real estate. So now I'm giving myself multiple streams of income, just all in the same avenue. So every once in a while, I get a request for speaking out of town, or I may do some stuff here in the city while I'm doing stuff with the youth through the foundation, my foundation.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, which we building right now. We're trying to get the right people in place. So if somebody watching this video, man, and you may say, all right, I see this guy vision, I see his passion. He's going to be passionate about what he's doing. So basically, I always had a passion for giving back to underprivileged youth. With me coming from the environment that I come from, if I can give them an opportunity to be successful education-wise or in a trade, then I can be in the form of making my biggest impact. So that's where I'm at right now is getting my team together so that we can go back and to these underprivileged areas and help these kids through the foundation with furthering their education. And I don't just mean just going to a classroom. I mean furthering their education, whether it be get them into a trade school, get them into a job, whatever it may be. So I haven't quite, got it all, the foundation laid all the way. But if somebody watching this video and they're like, hey, look, I want to help this guy, then we definitely open to it. So
wow, that's awesome. You're busy.
Yeah, I try to stay busy. But eventually I want to get to the point. So if somebody watching this, hear me clearly. I want to get to the point that in 2 years, I want to sell the pressure washing business and I want to just do motivational speaking and real estate in my foundation. That's it. That's all I want to do. I just want to serve people, help people, and just, go around to these different companies and help them help their employees and help them help themselves. So that's what I'm working on, man.
Well, that's interesting. You liking the real estate.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah. I like it. I don't like deal sitting though, man.
Yeah,
money being lost.
Yeah. The holding cost is not fun, but I think every deal is a new challenge. Right. So maybe that's something that you really like. All right. So if somebody wants to book you to speak, how do you want them to get in touch with you?
Oh, they can go to www.brandonmaye.org, and that's www.brandonmaye.org. Awesome. Or you can go to Facebook or you can go to YouTube and check out some videos. We're getting back to the point where we're going to do some weekly videos, just giving people. I believe that you must give people some form of a treat.
Awesome.
Yes, sir.
That's incredible. Well, listen, thank you so much for being a guest on the Impact Agent podcast. You are definitely making an impact on our community and beyond. And I know you're really busy, so thank you so much for taking the time out to talk to us. This has been awesome.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it,
Brandon Maye. Look, Brandon, just Google Brandon Maye.
Yeah.
And you'll find out everything you need to know.
I need to Google you, man. Hey, you the real deal, dude. I've been watching your page. I'm very, very humbled by the way that you move, the way that you operate. Some of the things that I said, you've been doing it. So I'm blessed, man, to see you and your wife doing what you're doing. And I look forward to hearing more about your conference that's coming up in New Orleans, man. I know it's going to be a blast.
I love it.
Yes, sir.
Brandon Maye, thank you so much.
Thank you, man.
Appreciate it.
God bless you.
Thanks for listening to the Impact Agent Podcast. If you liked the show and got something out of it, please like the Impact Agent Podcast on Facebook and rate and review the show on iTunes or anywhere you listen to podcasts. This really helps us grow the show and helps other agents find it. Please share it with your friends and coworkers as well. Want us to deliver the show to you via email every week? Then email me at jason@impactagentuniversity.com and we'll send you the show every week. Please let us know what you think about the show, what you like, what you don't, or possibly make a suggestion about a topic you want to hear. Email me at jason@impactagentuniversity.com or leave us a message on Facebook at Impact Agent Podcast. Until next week, everybody be productive, safe, and happy, and always keep learning. This podcast is produced by Johnny Gwynn at Deep Fried Studios in Mobile, Alabama, and is paid for and powered by ImpactAgentUniversity.com.